All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 414 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football, and today we're going to talk about one topic from each team. Give you my thoughts and opinions on the cuts that Atlanta Falcons had. Basically, they were supposed to have 5 cuts yesterday, just like I talked about in my last episode. They actually had 4, and they put one person on injured reserve, so we're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about this running back at Georgia Southern. Just touched down earlier this year after committing to Georgia Southern and already making waves. We're going to talk about his impact that possibly could be on the team and give you my thoughts and opinions. All that stuff under this umbrella today. And we're just going to go from there. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. Once again, I am VF Baller. We talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. So if you want to listen to the audio side of this, all the avenues are there for you. But if you want to look at the visuals are here as well. So I appreciate the support, and I thank you for stopping by, and hopefully you hang around as we go through this episode. All right, we're going to get right into it. The Atlanta Falcons had to cut 5 people. Or 5 players yesterday based on the roster, getting broken down closer to the 53-man roster. And it went from 85 to 80. And the 5 people who were cut was Tucker Fisk, the tight end from Stanford, which was kind of surprising, but we already had a lot of tight ends on the team. Linebacker Rashad Smith from Florida Atlantic, which once again, we have a lot of linebackers that are actually pretty good in athletics, so I can see that could be a depth chart issue. Tre Webb, which I'm going to get into that in a second, and that's why he's on the title of the show. Tre Webb was cut from Montana State, which that one actually surprised me a lot. Seth Vernon, the punter from Portland State, I kind of saw that one coming as well once I found out who was being cut, because the other punter, Pinion, is actually, look like he's doing a pretty good job. And they put cornerback Cornell Armstrong from Southern Mississippi, put him on injured reserve. Now, I didn't know that they could do that, like put someone on injured reserve and count that as a cut. That was kind of interesting, but we ended up cutting 4 players, putting one on injured reserve, and we're down to 80 players that is going to be active on the team. I want to get into the Tre Webb cut, because I actually thought that he was somewhat making waves throughout the offseason and training camp. Didn't hear his name much on the negative side, but we have a lot of DBs that are actually doing some things, and I thought he was one of them. So that was kind of surprising to me to see him be cut. Also, that he was pretty much, I think he was the teammate of Troy Anderson at Montana State. So I thought that was going to be pretty cool to have both of those guys on defense together, kind of have that dynamic. And Tre Webb is a fairly formidable player, so I would not be surprised. He may find a job somewhere else, or it could be a situation where we may pick him back up. You just never know. So that was kind of surprising to me. I did not expect that to happen. Another one that stood out was, well, the other 2, the tight end and the linebacker, Fisk and Smith, they were not too much of a surprise, because I get it. It was based on depth. But the Tre Webb one was really, honestly, I thought he was going to make the team. Because I saw some good things out of him. I think he was doing pretty well against the tight ends throughout training camp. But at the end of the day, you look at a situation where you have so many players with so much talent, and you only have so many slots to have a player on the team. So therefore, you can see where a situation where that this could be a situation where some people get cut that you don't really expect. Some people you don't want to see go. Like I said, I didn't expect any like real overtly big surprises. So I think Tre Webb was like the closest one that was actually a surprise, where I was like, okay, I didn't see that coming. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, and that's how things are played out at times, where you have certain players that, end up getting cut, where you just scratch your head and be like, what's going on? But from a fan standpoint, that's just how we all feel. I mean, I know some people probably look at the Fisk or the Smith situation or even the Seth Vernon or Armstrong, the other guys, some other fans probably be like, wait, what happened? Why did they get cut? I thought they were doing well. For me, I thought Tre Webb was the one that was going to be, at least make it to the last cut stage, at the very least. But I just thought he was gonna make the team, but it's kind of surprising. But we'll see what happens with that. I'm want to continue to watch because next go around is going to be 27 players going to get cut. It's going to go from 80 to 53. So we're going to have a lot of players getting cut next week. So people need to show that they need to do something within the next few days of practice and the game against the Jets, and to try to make a name for themselves and stand out. Ooh, excuse me. But I really feel that there's going to be some names that's actually going to surprise at that point. That's 27 players. So we're going to revisit that next week and see what happens there. I have a gut feeling of a couple of them. I do not want to put them out there now. One person that I feel like may surprise a lot of people is that's in the back of my mind now, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see if that happens. I don't want to put it out there yet because I don't want to, put that energy out there. I want all the good players. Well, pretty much, I want all the players to make the team, honestly. But you only have 53 people on the team, so that's going to be real interesting to see if that one particular person makes a team, because I don't want to name them yet, but I really like that player. So hopefully it pans out. So hopefully we'll see where Tre Webb goes. We'll see if all these other guys can find a job somewhere else as well. But I really was surprised with the Tre Webb cut. I really was. So let's get into the other topic. We're going to talk about Omari Arnold. This guy, this kid, I guess you can call him a young man, has been making waves at Georgia Southern. He's been doing his thing at Georgia Southern. Coming out of Valdosta, Georgia, Brooks County High School, 5'9", 180, running back. I can't begin to tell you the things that he's done for his high school. Don't really want to get into the high school aspect too much. I know I did that with Jalen White not too long ago. And Jalen White has put up some incredible numbers in Alabama, but when you look at another person like Omari Arnold, what he was able to do in his whole situation, what he was able to do when he played at Brooks County High, Quitman, Georgia, ended up being the player of the week. I mean, dude basically ran for over 5,000 yards over his entire career. And I think he ran for like 320 yards in a playoff game or in the state title game or something like that. I mean, like I said, I don't want to get too much into the high school stuff. I want to get into what he's done in college so far. So far, he's been turning heads with the coaching staff. And as a freshman, that's really hard to do when you come right out of college right out of high school into college, especially at the running back position. You have a situation where you have running backs like Jalen White and oh goodness, what is his name? Oh boy. I don't forgot his name that quick. It'll come to me. But when you have guys like Jalen White and Terrion Dixon and this is Terrion Dixon. I think I got that wrong. But nevertheless, when you have running backs like that, that are actually formidable, have experience, and actually can be able to run the ball the way that we've seen them do it, it is really going to be interesting to see how he fits in, because I don't think he's going to end up being the running back one. I just did a video on Jalen White, how he could possibly be the Sun Belt Player of the Year. But when you have a guy like Omari Arnold basically showing out during fall camp, doing things during scrimmage, playing very well against the first team defense, finding ways to get open and catch the ball out the backfield, doing things that, not only that these other guys can do, but in some cases doing them to the point at the same level. It's really interesting to see because, like I said, when you have a Jalen White, when you have, a Gerald Green, or, when you have these guys that are able to, show out and actually been able to do good things already. I mean, both of these guys, White and Green, have shown you for the last couple of years that they can able to do some things. So but when he comes in and disrupts a lot of stuff, like it's going to be very difficult to keep him off the field. It's like how could you? You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be easy to keep a guy like that off the field. So this is something that we're really going to have to look into. And I said Terrion Dixon. I don't know where I get Dixon from, but it's Tyler Jordan that I was talking about. Another pretty good running back out of Military College. Terrence Gibbs is another one out of, Forest Park. I mean, you got what? A.J. Brown, Robert Edwards. Yeah, I did say Terrion Dixon. There he is. I know I was wrong, but I was referring to Tyler Jordan. But when you have all these guys that are pretty much talented, and you got a running back, a freshman that is standing out that big, it really bodes well for the future. You're going to, and I talked about him in another episode with him and Terrence Gibbs, where both of these guys could literally be the future once, Green and Jalen White, decide to move on to the next level, or of their careers. It's going to be really interesting, because I don't know how Coach Helton does this. He's our first year as a as a coach. How does he do with underclassmen? Do he have them play right away? Is he one of the type that do the seniority thing like the last regime did? Because you got to understand, I'm going to be honest, this is one of the reasons why I feel Jalen White had to be patient for this long, because you had other guys that was playing running back at the time that were basically juniors and seniors, and Jalen White as a freshman, I felt was just as good, if not better, than the other guys that we had. So I was actually surprised that he sat for 2 years for the most part, until now he has the reins to actually take over as that guy. Is it going to be a situation like that where, Omari, which they call him OJ, is really hard to keep him off the field, but they're going to keep him off the field based on seniority? Or is you going to let the hot hand or the hot legs run up and down the field? I kind of tend to lean towards, to let the best man play. Not necessarily just carry the load, but put him out on the field. Third down situations. Mix it up and throw him out there when the defense is expecting one thing. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a running back commit by committee type thing, but you will have the talent to do so. I mean, running back coach Merritt already said he felt like he had probably the best running back core in the country. And I don't know if that's just coach talk or because he's here, but I already felt that before he even got here. When you look at these other guys that we haven't even thought about yet, or some people that we haven't even listened or talked about yet, when you're looking at a Robert Edwards III, that is, that came from Columbus, Georgia. Jordan Pearson is another guy from Lawrence, South Carolina. You got like 6 or 7 running backs here that are, almost ready to go. I mean, A.J. Brown actually showed some flashes when he had carried the rock, and I know that what's his name, wide receiver? He plays wide receiver now. Omari Jones. We've seen Omari Jones could go back there and do a little bit of everything. I doubt if they'll put him back there based on the structure of the team now, but you have a lot of players that can run the rock on this team. So with that being said, I think it's something that we could see where you have like 3 or 4 running backs playing the game that actually could be able to run for, 75, 100 yards a game. But as of right now, we're still looking at Jalen White. Omari Arnold is actually making waves that actually could, put some things together and actually find itself on the field sometime this season. I think the Morgan State game could be a pretty good test. As the FCS team, you don't want to take them lightly, but if things go the way that we expected to go with Georgia Southern pretty much, putting their foot down and running away with that game, we could possibly see Omari Arnold go out there and do some things. So it's going to be really interesting to see at what's going to happen with, the situation at running back. We kind of know how everything else is going. Pretty much everything is in place, but Georgia Southern has always been, they always been known for their running backs. And right now we got like 4 or 5 of them that can do some things, at least 3 that I know as of right now. I haven't heard much about Terrence Gibbs, but right now we have Jalen White, Gerald Green, and Omari Arnold right now. It's like really, they're the guys. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to play out. How much playing time could Omari Arnold see? I think he's going to get some, because I think he's going to get some playing time. Because I've been hearing his name a little bit too much right now. So we'll see how it goes. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What do you think about Tre Webb getting cut? What do you think about the other cuts from the Atlanta Falcons? Also, what do you think about Omari Arnold? Do you think that he's going to be one of those guys that break the ranks and run over and have a lot of playing time as a freshman? What do you guys think? I think that is a high possibility, because you don't want to, run one running back into the ground. You want to kind of mix it up, especially with this day and age of football. But we'll see. Personally, I think that he'll get some playing time. Pretty much in situational situations, unless if he actually just continues to blow the doors off of people. And I think at the least he's probably end up being running back number 2 at the very least. But we got a little bit less than a month to find all of that out. We'll see how that goes. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, thank you guys for listening. I'm on YouTube and Rumble, also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Thank you guys for the support, and we're just continuously growing because of you guys. Can't thank you guys enough. All right, y'all, I am going to get up out of here, and you guys take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll be back on Thursday with more content. All right, y'all, I'll take it easy, and you guys be blessed. Peace.